Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And the content that I'm going to show you is more Twilight Zone. I agree with something that AOC just said while she builds even more of a case to destroy AR bans forever. You can't make this stuff up, guys. The clip that I'm going to show you just happened inside the Oversight Committee going against the head of the Secret Service. AOC just made more of the case for us, stacking on top of a liberal justice dissent that made even more arguments for us, which then stacks, of course, on the Heller decision. I'm about to show you everything you need to know, so please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on. We are living in a freaking Twilight Zone, but one thing that's going to come through on the other side is our gun rights to the next generation. It cannot be done without you, so thank you for that support. And speaking of support, don't let this guy get in the way of that. That's my representation of the YouTube algorithm. He's always looking to steal your subscription and interrupt your feed of information. Just don't let him get away with it. Check that subscription. All right, we got to talk about of all people on this planet, AOC being correct on guns. I know you're alive. You're awake. This is really happening. Let me show you what she just said in an oversight committee. And then I'm going to stack on some more things as they are literally building everything that we need to destroy AR bans forever from their own mouths. Let's get some AOC. I'll probably interrupt this right in the middle and add some context.
You established earlier that the building upon which the shooter operated from was outside of that established perimeter, correct, for the Butler, Pennsylvania event?
It was outside of our secure perimeter, yes.
Now, that building was, I believe, 500. How far away was that building from the president?
It was approximately 200 yards.
200 yards. Now, the individual used an AR-15 in order to act out his assassination attempt. An AR-15 has a range of about 400 to 600 yards. My question is, why does the Secret Service perimeter, why is the Secret Service protective perimeter shorter than one of the most popular semi-automatic weapons in the United States?
Hold the phone. The most popular semi-automatic rifles in the United States. You guys can already see where I'm going with this. AOC just made another case for common use. The very same person in the same hearings that all the Democrats are trying to get gotcha questions for a clip around gun control, AOC literally just said one of the most popularly owned rifles. She's literally building another brick into the wall of destroying gun control through AR bans. Oh, God. Not only have they said this week they made it into an icon of freedom, now here's another example of her saying this is the most commonly used or commonly owned or popular. Guys, you can't make this stuff up. This is... Okay, let's continue. I got one more thing, and then I'm going to show you some other things about how they've just made it even worse for themselves. But she doubles down. She doesn't stop. And by the way, you can follow me right down there on the Twitter at BradenLOA. It's a party every single day. So make sure you jump on that as well. Let's get back to AOC.
There are a number of weapons out there with a number of ranges. Again, an advance was completed. The determination of the perimeter, I'm not going to speak to specifics, but there are a number of factors that are taken into account when we determine our perimeter. Some of it has to do with terrain, some of it has to do with buildings, some of it has to do with assets and resources that are available.
And so what I'm hearing is that a perimeter was not established outdoors in an outdoor venue that would prevent an AR-15, which is one of the most common weapons used in mass shootings.
Okay, maybe she's gonna stay on gun control because she said commonly used. Okay, hold on.
From being able to be within the range of Secret Service protection.
The perimeter was established, and even though there were buildings that were outside of that perimeter, it wasn't just that building. There were a number of buildings in the area, and there was overwatch that was created to help mitigate some of those buildings.
Nah, no, she didn't. She didn't do it right. I thought she was gonna say commonly used, but she didn't. She said commonly used in mass shootings, which of course is absolutely not correct, but doesn't matter. The point is, Overwatch was not created. They are lambasting this woman. I bet you she'll completely give up here pretty soon and resign, go the way of the old Biden. But now let me show you something else here. Really disappointed she didn't say common use, aren't you? It would have been too easy. Well, let's get into here. This is the dissent from Sotomayor in the Cargill case. You guys remember this little nougat? He did so by affixing bump stocks to commonly available semi-automatic rifles. Okay, so we've got AOC in the first part of this clip saying how they're most popular rifles in the United States, and now you got Sotomayor saying they're commonly available semi-automatic rifles, both on the record, both in actual government trackable, what am I trying to say? Government citable sources, as you can see here. That's in the dissent from Cargill. And now let's just, for the fun and giggles of it, let's go over to the District of Columbia v. Heller decision from SCOTUS blog. The holding in United States versus Miller that the sorts of weapons protected are those, quote, in common use at the time, finds support in the historical tradition of prohibiting the carrying of dangerous and unusual weapons. The handgun ban and the trigger lock requirement, as applied to self-defense, violate the Second Amendment. The District of Columbia's total ban on handgun possession in the home amounts to the prohibition of an entire class of arms that Americans overwhelmingly choose for lawful purposes of self-defense. Common use. What we are looking at is the left systematically, completely destroying their AR bans, their desire for AR bans, their gun control bans, everything that they want. They are destroying in things that are ancillary or they are adjacent to exactly what they're talking about. They can't keep the story straight. I've said it many, many times. They're pylons of their party. The main structures, they conflict with each other. They can't stand together. They have to stand by themselves. So right here, AOC is going down a road of, so you're telling me 400 and 500 yards is the AR-15's max range or effective range, but you were only at about 200 yards, and it's one of the most popular U.S. rifles. Uh-oh. You said it. And that's what I've got for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.